Going to be to oversee the entire scene, make sure it remains safe. He would call for resources. Scio Fire's fire chief, Chief White, is going to be extrication officer. He's going to be in charge of the different teams and coming up with the tactics on how to get the patient out of the vehicle in the best and safest way possible.
She did.
And then we have two different teams that are going to be working. Our first team lead is going to be Zach. And the people that are going to be working underneath him are Tyler, Titus, and Steven. Our second team lead is going to be Brendan. The people working under him are going to be Matt and Thomas. And then our medical team lead is going to be Mandy, and she'll have Jeannie and Megan working with her for patient extrication and care. And then our patient inside the vehicle is another Scio Fire volunteer. His name is Demetrius. I will mention that he's not actually injured. He's moulaged, and so he's got makeup on to make it a little more realistic while we're training.
So I will say that safety is the most important thing for the patient and for the firefighters. So you can get a 360 walk around. The curving's there to make sure the car doesn't roll away. So as you can see right now, one team is working on patient care. They want to see the neck of the patient, make sure that it's stabilized and get a CPR on. The second team is working on cutting their first pillar. The driver's side team is now cutting the rear pillar.
In order to get the roof off as quick as possible, the technique they're going to be doing is they're going to remove the roof, and then they're going to remove both of the driver's side doors, front and back. So they're trying to cut all of the posts on the vehicle, remove the windshield from being connected from the vehicle in line with where they're cutting. So when they pull the roof off, every part of the roof comes with it and nothing is stuck on.
So some of the tools you can see they're using, they have some E-tools, they also have hydraulic. So the passenger side is hydraulic, it's run off of a pump. The driver's side is E-tools, so it's battery powered. They're using Hamatra and Hurst. So the Hamatra spreading force is over 7,800 foot-pounds. And the Hurst spreaders are over 147,000 pounds. We've also utilized Sawzall to cut the rear out.
Burning me.
Seatbelt's good?
Yeah. So the tool on the passenger side is ran on a pump, and so it takes gas and hydraulic fluid and oil in order for it to run. And in extrication, not everything goes according to plan, and so we have to come up with alternatives. So usually we have about 4 or 5 plans in place, if not more, as backup plans to our original plan. As you can see, they're changing over to the Sawzall tool and had to restart the pump to finish that cut.
So the main goal of removing the roof right now is to increase the space around the patient. So while they're cutting, there's another important thing to look at is the inside of the interior. They want to pull all of the interior plastic off to make sure that they're not going to be cutting any airbags or tensioners. So I'd like to say that Scio Fire has a cadet program at the Scio High School. It's for 16 to 18-year-olds. It introduces young people to the fire service. They learn about Scio Fire and how they operate. We have a Fire Cadet 1, which is an intro to emergency services, EMR, and hazmat.
So the second step in this process is removing the doors from the driver's side. Right now they're using the spreaders to be able to spread the door apart. If we spread it far enough apart, then we're able to release the door from the mater pin that holds it on there. Before they were able to get the spreaders in there, Zach had to use the Halligan tool to make a purchase point so the spreaders could fit inside, in between the doors, well enough to be able to get a purchase point so it spreads it apart. Another job of the person who goes inside the vehicle, as you can see Mandy's in there right now holding C-spine. She's not just making sure that the patient's spine is protected, but she's also making sure that the patient understands what's going on, they're prepared for everything, and she's keeping an eye on the patient's condition all at the same time.
Scio Fire received the Wildfire Season Staffing Grant. This grant allows Scio Fire to pay 2 people to staff the station during business hours during peak wildland fire season. The time frame for wildfire season is between June 1st and mid-September. Based on the funds provided by OSFM's grant, Scio will have 2 people staffing the station 7 days a week during the day from June 1st to mid-September. Scio Fire District wants to extend a big thank you to the Oregon State Fire Marshal's Office for giving them the opportunity to serve their community members and veterans with faster response.
Want to cover the Halligan?
So we spoke about the nadir pin not that long ago. The nadir pin is the safety pin that keeps you from being ejected out the door while driving. Scio Fire is always looking for good people to volunteer. If you're interested, stop by Scio Fire and I'll show you around.
So that way they can get things removed a lot quicker. And so we had one person up front using the Salazol. We've got a couple people trying to get the door popped with the spreaders. And that nadir pin can be a pain sometimes.
Looks like they got the door popped.
Yep. I had to laugh. They told me to step back. This guy's right up in.
He was hired.
Oh, you guys hired him?
Yeah, he was hired to videotape it, so.
That was the backboard.
And so, yeah.
Slide the patient
Because
off
you'll
the
get things will
backboard
fly
to
at you,
another
so you
car.
gotta be careful.
I know. I do this for YouTube all the time.
Okay.
He's a YouTuber, so he's competing with me.
Okay.
In extrication, it's all about physics. So they had to move the seat backwards so that way they could bring the backboard behind the patient at an angle. And they're going to utilize the back seat as kind of a fulcrum to help bring the patient up and out of the vehicle once they get the patient high enough up on the backboard. This is an all hands on deck kind of situation. As they move the patient, you're going to notice that somebody's going to be holding C-spine at all times. We want to make sure that we're preventing as many injuries as possible. And as they move the patient up, they're going to pass off C-spine to another person, finish moving the patient up, and they're going to slowly bring the patient out of the vehicle in a nice, safe manner, and they're going to set them on the ground. Once they're on the ground, they're going to place spider straps on the patient so they're secured to that backboard. So we're protecting their spinal cord at all times. Then they'll get picked up by the ambulance and taken to the closest appropriate trauma-capable hospital.